Hey there, Scrappy friends. It's Shelly. I'm the creative behind ScrappyLongstocking.com. I'm here today to go ahead and put together my books story play, or read story play portion of this story play album for 2024. Yesterday, I went ahead and printed out the photos and the kit because I only have the kit digitally. I've got my plan ready. I wanted to share that with you first. I had it stuck in the album along with all of the pieces here that I wanted to use in a 6x8 page protector with a sticky note tab there. And basically I just used computer paper, wrote down what I wanted the pages to look like. Here were my initial notes, and it's basically just a list of what is in the kit for, I don't actually know why I already had that in there, but I did for some reason. Just wanted to double check and make sure I was in the screen. I'm still learning, doing better with the focus and positioning of the camera, learning a little bit at a time about editing. So my first page is going to be, so there's the vellum here, and then I wanted to use the full page photo. And then next behind it, back to back, would be book stories, and then the photos of the books that I read in 2024. My problem is that I did not account for that when I printed out this 7x8 page, and so it's supposed to be on the right. And so I have the option of just backing this photo on a piece of cardstock and having that still be the, let me take these pages out of the album and move that aside, and then having that still be my intro page, so with the full page photo, which is what I want, and then going ahead and having a blank page or using a pattern paper, maybe reprinting something from the kit and putting that there, or just creating a backer with just printing a page with one of these colors, or finding something in my stash that matches that. And I'm sorry, these lines here across my page are the sun coming in through the blinds in my windows. So let's just go ahead. I think that's what I'm going to do. I need a piece of white cardstock, and then I can just trim it down to size and punch my holes, and then move on to putting the rest of the pages together. So what I usually do is I just start with a plain piece of white cardstock here, and since my paper is 8.5 by 11, and these sheets from Hobby Lobby, they're almost the exact same size, so I don't have to trim it down, which makes it a little bit easier on me while I'm putting these pages together. So how I do it is I just put a piece of tape right in the middle of the page, line up the edge, press the middle, and then I flip it and do as close to the edge as I can get on the photo, or whatever the smaller piece of paper is. And I know you guys can't see me taping that. And then I go around, and it should have done itself, and then I trim up. It looks like it might be a little crooked. So I'll take my scissors on that one because my initial photo, you can see where my initial photo was straight, but the white paper, I didn't get it on there quite right, and that's fine. And then I'm just going to line it up and punch my holes. And then it looks like I need an 1/18 of an inch off of that edge so it doesn't should have changed my blade before I started, but I did not. And so I'm just going to put that directly in the album with this. And I think I might cut one of these, but I'll wait until the end. So this photo was an item that I was inspired by off of Pinterest. So there was a fellow who gave instructions on how to take a photo in front of you reading a book in front of the Christmas tree. And so I thought, oh, well, that'll be fun since we have the Christmas tree and we have the book story kit. And I went ahead and decided to take it. So now I will just punch this one, and then let's see, it's not quite exactly exact. Maybe I will have to figure that out with the photos. So that's done. Got my book stories, and I wanted them to be side by side. So I wonder, I wonder if now I'll have to change my whole plan since I made that decision. I should have checked it out last night. So let's see, where's my page protectors are already in here. So if I do this, I can put the Read Story Play there. I printed that out and didn't really know what I was going to do with it. So my next story is yesterday evening. I went ahead and I pulled out all of the, I downloaded from the internet all of the, okay, all of the photos that of the book covers that I read. Mostly this year I read on my Kindle. I think I'm just going to rearrange this on the fly. So I made 2 of these cards, and that one is too fat. So I made 2 of these cards that say to be read. But they each have a list of 10, but there's only, but they're different books on each one. So I think that needs just a tiny bit taken off. Let's see. And now this makes sense to put it this way. So this is, I think I can put something here that says 2025, because this is the books that are on my 2025 list here. And then it'll make sense for these books to be here because these are the ones that I've read in 2024. Let's see. These here were audiobooks. These other books were cozy mysteries on my Kindle. So and most of the cozy mysteries I read during the second half of the year, after If you can hear that, that was my cat getting fed and running to go and get her food because she has to wait to get her food because she eats too fast and too much. So she can't have her food down all the time. It's not healthy for her to be so large. So let's see. I used a grid from Canva. It's just a 4 grid, and then I made it slightly smaller than 3x4 so that I could have the white border around the edge, and then I printed on the 8x14 sheet of paper, photo paper. That's the really thin, flimsy paper. And I was thinking about it that in some situations that might be a better way to go because it does make your final pages a lot thinner than what they would be otherwise. Looks like that one's needs a little off the bottom. So these are not in a particular order, and anyway, so I used to read, I got off on a tangent there. So I used to read romance books. But my relationship was going south and I didn't really want to read relationship books anymore. And at that time, I think I somehow accidentally came across these books by Catherine Michael, and they're cozy mysteries that have a quilting aspect, and I also happen to like quilting. Even though I haven't done it in a couple years, because when we did move to Arkansas, I gave away my sewing machine, but not all my sewing supplies. Okay, so we've got the book photos, and then I forgot to do that list, and I think I have this piece of paper here, which I can punch here, and I want a list of, I just want to write them out, so maybe I can just go ahead and handwrite them out on this piece of white cardstock. I don't know. And then I want to put these other ones that does not quite fit, I think. Okay, so I think I will do a 4.5-inch piece of cardstock. And then go ahead and just put it together. I kind of want this to match up a little bit, so maybe I should cut that edge off. There. And punch my holes. So I do have my 3-hole punch set because it was adjustable. So I do have my 3-hole punch set so that I could just line it up and use it. Let's see. So I think I'm going to put, this one was for the books because it seems to make sense since it's all wrapped up now. And I don't think I'm going to fussy cut that out. I think I am going to try to use I just toss my, let's see if that works. Hot dog, it did. Okay. No, don't stick. Don't stick. Don't actually stick. Okay. Okay. So now we know that works, but we also know that we don't want it to, let's see, I'm going to pardon my head. I'm going to put some tape along the end. And then kind of, there we go. And then I'll be able to write my list of books there. And then on the back are these two audiobooks, or these books that they weren't audiobooks, but they were compilations. So this was a 6-book set, a 13-book set, 4 books, and I think 1, 2, 3. So there's 5 books in that one. And I thought that was quite a bit. I didn't want, I was kind of being a little bit lazy, where I did not want to pull down the individual titles from the internet. So I just grabbed the Amazon picture of the book covers. So let's see if this will make sense lined up there. And so I have to make sure this is where I want this, because I can't pull it back up. Because if I pull it back up, the photos will tear. So if I wanted to move them, I would have to start that all over. Okay, so this one was for the books. Maybe I'll grab my stamp out. I'll have to put something there. I want to put one of these on here. And I think I want to fussy cut it out. And I think my cat is going to just jump up on the table, because she likes to be right in the center of attention, and she's not getting enough attention right now. It's kind of like having a dog. I think this is cut close already, so I think I'm just going to fussy cut it really quick, and I will try to figure out how to fast forward that part. No, ma'am. Come on. Come on. She only wants to be there because, oh, it looks like I need to close those blinds too. There. Does that help? Now it's a little dim, but we got enough light to keep going. I guess maybe I just have to do it when it's all the way dark. There. Or before noon. But I was watching church this morning, so I couldn't do it before noon. I think this looks nice here, but it kind of covers that up. This down here is less of no, that's still all right. Sorry folks, this one might okay. That's my daylight light. Okay, so let's just stick it here at the bottom, because I like the blurry background. I like the position of the photo, And this is why I don't use very many embellishments, because I really do just like the pictures and the words. Okay, so I've got that. So I can stamp something here that says 2025, which would be really cool. Stamp along here 2024, books that I read, write in which ones, fill in the information here. I was thinking of stamping part of the title or the whole title. Haven't decided yet. So I'm just going to move on and not do any writing, just the title, because the prompt is what I would journal about, like the name of the book, and then, oh, it made me cry at this point or something like that. So let's see, okay, so the next part is, so I got that, and then I used this strip. It looks like I had already picked one. So that's fine. So if you all want to see how to do these, if you'll leave a comment and let me know. I believe that my Mac, I can record what I'm doing on my screen and combine it with other videos, or just upload that. I also figured out how to do journaling inside a circle and a square, which is how I did this journaling here. Is I didn't just add a text box, I added a square because I wanted to cover up the words that were already there, because I didn't like that part of the card. I just wanted it to be more simple, just the to be read. I think it was like AKA the books in my pile, and I just took it out by covering it up. I could also use the magic eraser, but I didn't want to do that. Let's see. TBR. Oh, okay. So here's that one. I moved this page up to in here, and then it looks like I had intended, so that's there, and it looks like I had intended for that to be, okay, to be its own page afterwards. So that just was serendipitous. And then my next bit of stuff is I have this photo, which will fit on this page or this one, and it's oriented. It looks like I need to do this one. How wide is this? Yeah, maybe I do need, I need to cut that edge off. So I oriented it so that my face won't be cut off. And then I have, oh, this is about my Bible reading. Okay, so that's why they're separately. I wanted to journal here. I can go back in time and write down what I was reading in December. And then I think that's separate. And so what I wanted to do was the top 5, and then, oh, I think this goes with this. Top 5 books. And I was thinking, like, what are the best books that I've read? And I have to think about it a little bit because I've read so much stuff over the years. So Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite books. I've listened to it. I've read it to my son. I read it when I was young. Let me just go ahead and start doing that while I'm talking to you guys. Okay, so Alice in Wonderland. And then Shel Silverstein. He wrote a poem. He wrote a book of poems, Where the Sidewalk Ends. And it's got a poem in there about, I think it's called Sarah Sylvia Cynthia Stout Would Not Take the Garbage Out. And I found this author when I was in junior high, and he just writes these poetry books with a bunch of line drawings and really silly stuff in it. And my son loved it. My stepdaughter loved it when she was little. It's just so cute. They're just cute little poems, and I love them. Okay, so I'll have to think of 3 more of my top 5 books, because I used to like, just thinking about it, I used to like Anne Rice. So she had 2 series. Everybody is Famous, with the Diary of a Vampire, or whatever that one was called. But there was another series that they're actually making into a TV show. And I'm not watching it because I don't watch things about witches or vampires and stuff anymore. But it was called, the first book in the series was called The Witching Hour, and I think the witches' names inside the book were the Mayfair Witches. And she had so many books of these mysterious, sort of supernatural beings and stuff like that. So that's a person I used to read. Patricia Cornwell. And I think... Oh, I definitely love Sherlock Holmes. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So I'm going to write that down. I've been reading those since high school. Oh, and A Tale of Two Cities. I'm actually listening to the audiobook right now, sometimes when I'm driving. A Tale of Two Cities. And oddly, I have not read some of his other books. But I have the audiobook of a whole compilation. So I'm like, okay, well, I wanna listen to some of the other things too. Let's see. As soon as I go to put this back in here, I'll think of a 5th one. But those are the bestest of all of them, other than the Bible. So, because that one is always the best. Okay, so when I'm flipping over to here, so I have this, and then, so maybe I don't need the insert now, but I just need a pattern paper for the back of this. Oh, that's my table creaking. I was like, what is that? And that is still, oh, this may end up being, does that give more light? What's worse? Is that better? Well, I guess we'll know when it's finished, and then I might publish the video anyway, just so you guys can see it, but still learning. Okay, so currently reading quote and reading details. So I can go back to December and look at what I was reading, because I take notes every day. And then I have the picture of myself there. And then I thought it would be cool to just, I took a picture of my table in January, so I know it's not December. And I took a picture of my table all cleared off with the Bible and my blue dish sitting there. And I think that's totally fine. All right. So we'll put this guy on the inside. There we go. And then my quote. Oh, my quote is actually this is what made me think about telling my Bible reading story. So my quote is actually, one of the verse images. I like to share verse images of stuff that I'm reading, the YouVersion Bible apps verse of the day, and then I think that just gets taped right on there. And so I thought, I went back to while I was in December looking for photos and downloading photos and stuff. I just went ahead and grabbed one of the Bible verses. And so this one is Joshua 1:8. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it night and day, so that you may be certain to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. And so I thought, what better way to have that included in there, and why we read. And I just thought it was meaningful. So I wanted to put that in there. And then, in December, I was reading my Advent plan. Oh, I remember now. So I created myself an Advent plan, and I wrote 20, and I put it in my unfinished December daily is right here next to me. So this was what I was reading in 2024 in December. So I could reprint this and enlarge this set of this word art here, and then go ahead and put it in here under currently reading. That would be pretty cool. So those two would kind of match. So I will put this one over here, and this one will be over here, and then I need to fill that in with something there. And then the reading details. Where I read is in the living room on the sofa. With my morning coffee. When I read is as soon as I get up. I put on the coffee, and pull out the Bible. Why I read? Because I want to know what I believe to be true and who God is. So just slide that right in there. And y'all, this is just matte photo paper. That's what I printed on this particular. I'm switching brands. I just put an order in last night because I'm almost out of the matte photo paper, and I am out of my regular 8.5 by 11 paper. That's why everything is printed on these small sheets. And these photos, these 4x6 photos, are printed on a heavier stock of photo paper, but I don't like how they print out. This paper prints out so that it's slightly longer than 4x6, but which means that when I put two photos on here, one photo is larger and this photo is smaller. So I have to make this photo smaller, and then then 3x4, but somehow it still ends up for both of them to be 3x4, and I don't really want to deal with the shenanigans. So I'm switching to just 8x11 paper. That's what I decided to do. Okay, so got that done. Oh, and it looks like I wanted to include some sort of journaling about Bible reading over here, so that's fine. I don't need any filler paper, but probably let's see, I can see, you might not be able to see behind there. So I think what I'm going to do is just use these 2 strips of paper, because then I want to go back over to the closet and get more paper. And what I'm going to do is just tape the 2 pieces of paper and then cut off the extra edge. So what I'm thinking is these are both sheets of paper, so I want this larger piece here. No, don't do it. Okay. 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 And then see, now there's this tiny bit extra there. So I'm just going to tape this one. I should have done it the other way, but it's too late now because that's going to be visible. Maybe I'll just print out my journaling on a piece of computer paper, and then that will cover the whole thing up. Or I can put some washi tape right there. Something. I will figure that out. But I do know that I don't want these two, this edge at the very least, because what? There. Let's see. So I'll line it up. Now that it's lined up, take the middle. Has decided to settle down. Her name is Artemis. Call her Artie. She is, I think she is 6 years old. Let's see. Yes. No, she's 7. I use her gotcha days as their birthdays, because she was a stray, and she was in January or in December when I was going to drop my son off to his father's house in 2019. I think it was 2019. Yes, it was January 2019. It was cold, and she came out where the people were, where we were exchanging. And then, oh, I could put something there too. Maybe I should have grabbed a piece of pattern paper for that. Anyway, it was cold, and I told my son's dad, hey, why don't you give her a box? He ended up letting her inside, and then his wife was a vet tech, so they tried to find a new owner for her, and the new, should I try that? And nobody wanted her. So at that time I had a large house, even though it was a larger house than what I have here. And I had already 2 cats, and I had just adopted a dog. So I decided to adopt her anyway. I'm just going to cut that in half. And, because I think that was the original plan. So, we'll do here. And I know that one will fit. Will that one fit? That probably will fit. So I decided to take her in so she wouldn't have to go to the shelter. And she was, when I took her to when they brought her to me, they had gotten her new spayed, and she had gotten her shots, and they estimated she was about a year old. Then I took her to my vet, and they estimated she was about a year old. So since we've had her since January 2019, I believe that so we're in 2025, so that's been 6 years. So I think she's 7. And okay, so back to the project. This is a picture of my bookshelf TV entertainment center. And I decided to include it in there because I needed something to go on the back of this page. And so if you can see it here, it's a picture now. I did not take a picture during December, and I'm fine with that too. And so my plan, I thought, oh, well, what a great idea to just put it in there. And let's see. Oh, I was going to journal. I was going to use one of these where it says there's no such thing as too many books. Make a 3x4 journaling card about it using one of these. And it looks like that's almost 3 inches. So, oh, here's one. This, I think, is a remnant of the photo paper, so I'll just use that. And just journal about, so I had written down to go ahead and journal about, that's not even the right piece of paper. I have a daydream of having a home library where it's an entire room in my house, and it has a floor entirely covered with pillows, so that you can, and you know, stacks up to the ceiling, shelves up to the ceiling, every wall, maybe a reading nook, like a window seat type thing. And then so you just come in, you grab a book, and then you can fall back safely onto a pile of pillows. Make yourself comfortable. And the only furniture in the room would be, see, look at that. Look at that. Will this fit in the page protector, or will it be too tall? It will be too tall. So you could just make yourself comfortable. The only furniture in the room would be like a small night table, or just a telephone table, something like that. And where you could set a beverage while you're reading. And so if you wanted to sit upright, you could pile up some pillows and put it laying up against the wall. If you wanted to lay back, you could lay back. It's just, and so I thought, since we're talking about books, let's talk about libraries. I mean, really. All right. So I lost a little bit of edge there. I don't think that, yeah, that's too small. Okay, so I must be fine with that. And so I'll write in that. That's a little bit more writing. I don't want this video to be an hour long while I'm writing all this stuff. So I'm going to pop off, pause the video, and get a filler card for this. Maybe I'll just put these in. Oh, I don't need to do that. I have these cards that I had not printed out yet. So since this is yellow, I'm going to cut that out. Oh, I got it. I remember what I was trying to do here. But I will do the journaling off camera so that I don't have to fast forward all that. And I'm sorry I'm a little sniffly. I am fighting off my annual head sinus allergies whatever it is. I bought an extra air filter for my living room. Books are life. Oh, I missed. Not quite exact. There we go. Let's get that little bit off of there. Boom. Right in the pocket. Okay, so I'll journal, I'll write out my library daydream. I don't need these page protectors now. And that's what I was going to do. So I have been reading through the Bible for several years, and the idea is to read it slowly by reading a chapter or a half chapter a day. And so in doing that, let's see if I can just cut this paper in half and then punch my holes. I think it's going to take me 5 years to read through the Bible. I've read the New Testament in a year. I read Psalms and Proverbs. I read a bunch of the poetry books last year. And this year I am reading, I'm starting with the first 5 books. It's the Pentateuch, I think. I Googled it to see how you say it. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut this paper in half. So that's, it's 7? Okay, it's 7. So I need to cut it at 3.5, which is, let's see, this line is 3. So that big line right there is about 3.5. But I will do it on this line because that makes sense. Okay, then so what I was thinking would be cool is to write the year that I read the book, and then write the books that I read for 2020, 21, 22, 23. Oh, that's not going to work. Well, maybe it will. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Huh. Okay. I didn't quite do that just right, but also, again, fine. So just writing out the years that I read which books in the Bible, and at least the year, and just writing it down. The year and the book of the Bible, not the month or any of that. That would be way, way too much journaling, I think. If I was typing it out, if I had already if I already had it typed out, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. I'm just trimming up these edges so that they match. For the most part, it's not going to be, it's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. And then maybe I will open that up. So I will need to see if I can pull up the edge of this a little bit and maybe stick some pattern paper in there. So I'll have to go over to my closet, find some pattern paper that coordinates with the colors of the kit. Maybe I will just write it down and use my attachers to go ahead and I bent that when I pulled it up, to go ahead and do it that way. Or, I can make a pocket for this by cutting off the edge, and I can use my heat tool here, or I can, sometimes I just put a tab on the end, on the edge of it when there's nothing else in there. I don't think I want to do that. I think I will try and use my heat tool for that. Figure it out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this journaling and then pop on and show you the end of it. Okay. Okay, friends. I've gotten it finished. It's been about, I'd say probably like an hour. I decided to go ahead and type out the journaling that I wanted for this instead of handwriting it. I did start doing some stamping and I abandoned that as well too, and then ended up typing the parts that I wanted to stamp. I ended up typing that out too. So this is the vellum page. I fuzzy cut this out and just stuck it on there with rolling adhesive. I trimmed that page down a little bit because it was punched in properly. The full page photo of me in front of my Christmas tree. These are the leftover stickers that, if they were stickers, I might have left them on the page, but since I used the digital cut, I just cut them out. This is a piece of paper from my stash. It's a piece of paper from a seasonal 8.5 by 11 paper book that I got from Joann's this past summer on a pretty good sale. I think it was like buy one, get one free or something like that. I still haven't thought of a 5th book, but I will be thinking about it. We'll fill it in. My 2024 or my 2025 to be read list. This was the screenshot from Instagram of what the Allie Edwards page posted, the Design Inc. page posted to alert the community that it was going to be story play this week. And my books that I read in 2024 and listened to. This is, you can see my stamping a little bit ghosted behind there. I'm out of whiteout, so I'm just going to leave it. My paper cut a little bit incorrectly too. Also going to leave that. I went ahead and stamped 2024 up there at the top. Filled this in. I think that paper is just going to be crinkled like that. Could not find a good filler paper for it. Then my list, I went ahead and printed it out and typed out all of the books. Let's see, I did not check to see how many there were. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15. 15 plus 13 is 28. 29 plus 1, 2, 3, 4 is 33, 34. And there was 6 in that one. So 40 total. 40 books total on that. And then 40 books. So I read 40 books, and I think there's 1 or 2 more that I read that were in another one of these box sets that I was trying out, but I didn't write them down and I don't know what they were. So I'm going to stick with 40. That's a lot of books. In addition to my daily Bible reading, in which I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books of the Bible in 2024. I cannot find my 2023 journal. I don't know where they are. I'll have to keep looking for them. When I find them, I'll go ahead and write it in here. So I did not start reading my Bible in 2021. I was reading in 2020. In 2020, I was reading some other books, but 2020 was the year that I started a morning routine involving reading the Bible. So in 2021, I started going through and reading the Bible. And that was when I started in the New Testament, and I read the New Testament in 2021. Okay, so my currently reading details, the picture of my coffee table. I made a mistake on this one while I was writing out the list for 2021, and so I just went ahead and used the last 3x4 card from the kit and covered it up, and it looks good because there's blue, blue, and blue across the top of the page. That's kind of nice. I might go ahead and flip those around. I don't know. And then the yellow on this page, and then my books here. And that is it for the Read Story Kit I think I'm going to stamp the number 40 here for posterity, so I don't have to count them again in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this video and my lighting shenanigans. I'm really sorry about that. I'm still a work in progress, as we all are. I'm learning, and I appreciate you all being patient with me. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and do a quick flip through on another video. I'll post these two videos all together. If you have any comments or questions, or if you just want to connect, go ahead and leave a comment below. And I hope to see you again in the next video. And I thank you for being here. Bye, friends.